I've been doing this all with the microphone off. Oh my. Oh my God. I should have read the chats. I've been streaming for... Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't even. I can't even. I need to give some of you people my cell phone number, that if something like this happens, you just text me and be like, hey, idiot, you forgot to turn on your goddamn microphone. Because I swear I was on a roll. I was talking like I was the guy announcing the Hindenburg, but in a good way. Oh, the humanity. Oh, the humanity. Look at your comments. Yes, anti-tracker. I'm looking at my comments now. I am wallowing in self-pity. How could I have been so stupid? The icon, I shut the mic off so that the opening credit music wouldn't interfere. I could have sworn I clicked the button to turn the mic back on. The physical mic button was on, the lights on, but the software button was off. Oh, there's not even a recording of it on the computer that I can go back and put to the video later. I am an idiot, a goddamn idiot. So damn embarrassed. Why are the fish even up? I don't even can know why the fish are up. This should be the head. Oh my God. I'm looking at the comments, and then I'm going to do a 5-minute version of the 20 minutes I did first. Every time I start a stream, what's the first thing I've asked? Every single time I've started a stream in this past month, I've looked at the comments, I said, can you hear me? And every single time people have said yes. Sometimes they've heard me double, but oh my God. Stupid. So, Thomas Potts at 9:21, 21 minutes ago, said hi. Thomas, I should have asked you how I sounded. Brian said hi to Thomas. Thomas Potts says, I don't hear anything. And he said hello to Brian. Brian said, I don't hear any audio either. And then both Thomas and Brian highlighted my name and said, are you there? You there? Had I had the chat window up, I might have seen that, because I would have seen my name highlighted in orange. But no, I was on the browser going off like crazy, doing my report on this GoFundMe campaign that is going viral right now, and I didn't see any freaking chat. Thomas Potts yells, hello. And Thomas Potts says, this is what happens when Mr. Miles gets a wrench. He breaks the audio. I wish I could blame Mr. Miles. I wish I could blame somebody. It's not Obama's fault. It's not Hillary Clinton's fault. It's not even anti-tracker's fault. It is my fault, and my fault alone. Anti-Tracker says, wait, really? I need to start GoFundMe. So, no audio. So at least he got the point that I was reporting on this real, absolutely real Trump wall GoFundMe started by a Air Force veteran who happens to be a triple amputee. Nobody could hear anything. Looks like he turned on the vacuum. No, I have not turned on the vacuum lately. Thomas Potts correctly deduced I did not know. You hear me now? Well, only 20 minutes after I started pouring my heart out into this story, the audio finally comes alive. This anti-tracker says, this is why you should leave it to the pros. Well, you're probably right. You know what this means, though. If I had room for another monitor, this never would have happened. Because I've got to put my windows on top of windows, and I can't see the chat and read a web browser at the same time. Gavolt, whatever the thing is. Lol, okay, good. Have some fun. You should make sure there's sound. Yes, Thomas, You know what, though? I will not make that mistake again. I will not make that mistake again. Anti-tracker is saying me poo. Everybody is saying me poo. Yes, me poo. We are all poo. Night Breeze. Hello. Hello, Bird of Prey and everyone. Qapla. Night Breeze. Brian, hey, Bird of Prey 5. It's fine. This will be a classic YouTube video to watch. I hope so. I hope so, Brian. I am. My mom is laughing at me. She had to leave the room because she was laughing. You know it's bad when your own mother is laughing at you. Anti-tracker says, hey, not to brag, but I am 51 subs away from 7,000. Any suggestions on what to do for that video? I was thinking of having BOP do 20 minutes of silence. Oh, you son of a bitch. You know, I was thinking about it today, that since I am still probably months away from ever hitting 1,000 subscribers, having to worry about being monetized, I should be taking advantage of the fact that my videos can't be demonetized and just practically replaying half of Star Trek on my live streams, even more so than Lore Reloaded in his latest videos, which I like, don't get me wrong. I quite enjoyed seeing all those clips. I was under the impression, though, that if you got demonetized, that your stream was kind of taken out of the algorithm and not really promoted as much. But if Lore is doing videos and doesn't mind having his streams demonetized by CBS, I'm wondering if maybe that isn't true. And if that's not true, I damn well should be taking advantage of the fact that I can't be demonetized while I'm not monetized. I have a feeling GoFundMe will shut it down. Thomas, that is exactly what I said during my 20 minutes of silence on the issue. I don't think GoFundMe will allow this to continue. The fact is, the GoFundMe site is already having trouble keeping up with this campaign. The only thing I give money to is the support anti-tracker. $100 in super chats gets you 20 minutes of VOP silence. Oh, jeez. Well, it's gonna do. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and redo what I tried to do to begin with, even faster than I did it the first time. I will be back in a few minutes to read any additional comments. So, for the second time, let's go to the Opera browser. Hello YouTube, this is BirdoPrey5 again. I'm coming with you tonight to talk about this surprising GoFundMe that is taking social media by storm. I've seen it in the last, well, going back over 30 minutes now, but assuming this was the beginning of the video, I've seen this come up on my Facebook, on my Twitter, in Facebook groups I visit, on Discord servers that I visit. When I first started seeing this, it was just over $1 million in just a few hours. It has skyrocketed to $1.5 million. I have little doubt that by midnight Eastern tonight, it will surpass $2 million. In fact, I'm going to refresh it now. We are at $1,542,000. What is the new number? $1,555,050. So from $42,000 to $55,000, another $13,000 in about 10 or 15 minutes. You might be wondering, is this a scam? Because I'll tell you, the first thing when I look at a GoFundMe, I worry about is it a scam? I promise you, I would not be putting this up here if I had even a 1%, if I had any serious thought that this could possibly be a scam, I wouldn't even be talking about it. The fact is, if you read through this, the person behind it is fairly well known. He is a Air Force veteran, disabled triple amputee. He lost both his legs and a hand in the Iraq War. He has been on multiple big news channels. This is 100% real. This is legit. If you read through this, he talks about having made contact with people in the Trump administration. They have lawyers involved. There have been private donations given to the federal government before, with stipulations that that money be used for just a single project. There are methods in place to make sure that this money, whatever is raised, only goes to the wall and will not be put into the general tax fund. It's been done before. We've had private donations raised to fix the Washington Monument after that earthquake, and for other things. It's all detailed here. In fact, here he talks about the Washington Monument repairs in 2012. This is no different. I read through all this word for word. You're welcome to. The website is gofundme.com/the Trump wall. I put the URL in the chat. I will put it in the description when the video is done. How do you know this is not a scam? He addresses it very clearly. He is literally giving you his personal contact information. He is a verified person with Facebook, but more than being verified with Facebook, he has appeared in person on news channels talking about this very GoFundMe, this very project. Here is his picture, his full name, U.S. Air Force retired, his email address, his website. Updates are available on the project. Some of the most amazing things were the donations that had been raised for it. In the few minutes I was researching, well, it was more than a few minutes, but in the time I was researching this before I went live, I was looking at the number of donations that had come in. Here we are. We're at $1,559,000 now. These are not just $5 and $10 donations. I did give a $10 donation myself. I believe I've yet to receive the confirmation email from GoFundMe. So I am pretty confident that GoFundMe is way backlogged on processing payments for this particular, maybe across their whole site tonight, but if not, in particular for this project. There are $5 and $10 donations, but there are $25 donations. There's $138 from a Ronald Doughty. There's a $50 from somebody else. If this opens, it didn't open last time because it is just being pounded. We'll see others. We got $20, $50, $10, $25, $100. There's a lot of anonymous donations on this. We got another $50 anonymous donation. I'm not surprised. If I had given anything more than $10, I probably would have done anonymous too. In fact, I didn't even use my real name, to be completely honest, because the fact is you don't want your real name associated with these things in today's world. You don't know what will happen. Like I was saying, in the few minutes before I came online, I swear to you, there were $500 donations. There was even a single $1,000 donation from some random person to this project, to this wall. I have real questions whether GoFundMe will allow this project to continue. The fact is that in the past, and I'll be honest, we did use a GoFundMe campaign at one time to help raise money for my medical bills, and to help get a generator in the house, a whole house generator, and some needed updates to the house. A few years back, my mother broke down and finally made it. I was against it at first because I hated asking my friends and family for help. I mean, I do have some family that often asks if we need anything, and that's one thing, they're family, but I couldn't imagine asking my friends for money. But we did it, she did it, and we raised enough money to get some of the things I really needed. And then beyond just the raising of the money, the company my sister was working for at the time took an interest, and they volunteered to do construction work on my house that was able to convert a bedroom we weren't being used into a new room that would let me get outside through a much wider door, because I was having trouble just getting outside in my wheelchair, because my front door just was less than an inch wider than the wheelchair, and it was a power chair, and I needed a ramp because the it wasn't a straight. I had to go down a ramp to go out and up a ramp to come back in. So like you literally needed to come up with speed, or else you wouldn't come up the ramp. And it was literally like playing a video game, trying to aim the chair to get right between the doors, the door to get in. Every single time I went in or out, it was a knot in my stomach. What if I don't make it back in? They literally redid an entire room, knocked out walls, put in a brand new wider door, and we helped move. We had a company that had put in the wheelchair ramp we originally had at the front door. Between the people that were here helping and the company that did it, we did have to pay them some money, but they moved the wheelchair ramp to my new side door, and it is a luxury. I can now go outside without any fear of getting held up on the door. It is beautiful. The door has 6 inches of clearance at least, and I just make a turn. I go straight down. It is a bit steep, but I go down to the sidewalk, and I need not fear this. It made all the difference in my life. So I have great respect for GoFundMe. I really do. At the time, they used to take 10% off the top of every donation. They've been so successful that they went ahead and stopped taking any cut of money donated to their campaigns. Instead, when you make a donation, they ask you to voluntarily give 10, 20, or 30% extra to them. If you want to come on and donate $10 to the wall, you can donate $10 to the wall, and they will get the full $10, maybe perhaps minus whatever the credit card transaction fee is. I'm not 100% sure on that, but they literally get all the money GoFundMe gets. But if you wanted to throw an extra $1 or $2 at GoFundMe, that is 100% your choice when making the donation. So I do wonder if GoFundMe will allow this project to continue, because while people are being very, very generous donating to this project, now at $1,564,866. 20 minutes ago, it was at 42,000. We are now at 64,000, coming up on 65,000. I have no doubt we're going to reach 2 million before I wake up in the morning. Again, we've got a $200 donation, an $80 donation. If GoFundMe leaves this project up, it will just keep growing, because it has reached a critical mass, and it is something to behold. And that's really about what I wanted to say. Of course, I feel like I said it better the first time I said it. It is lost. We will never get it back. We will have to do with this retelling of it. But there we've got an $80, $100. Will we see another $500 donation in here? I don't know, but here are $400 donations within a minute of each other. Two more, $160. It is crazy. Another $100, another $100. And these are with $80, $20, $50 donations that I'm not even mentioning. The $10 donations add up. $100, $200. I mean, this is like a Doomcock live stream on steroids. The money is just piling it in. People are making it rain. If this was a Miami strip club, they would say they're making it rain. But this is literally Americans who feel strongly enough on border security that they will fund this wall themselves if the government won't do it for them. Okay, that is something I spoke about, and it all got lost because I was an idiot and I didn't press the goddamn microphone button. My personal view on border wall and border security. It's like this. I am 100% for people who come to this country legally. My family, several generations ago, came legally, the laws at the time. And so did many others. And some people did not come legally, but, once they were here, their children, how do I say it? Their children became Americanized. Okay? I don't know if it was, not saying it's good or bad, but immigrants of generations ago, when they came to this country, they wanted to be part of America. They wanted their children to become Americans. Okay? My grandparents, I'm mostly Italian, as you guys may or may not know. But as the grandparents I knew who were alive when I was born and for the, most of my childhood and teenage years, and my grandmother is still alive, neither of them spoke Italian. Their parents did, but they didn't speak Italian. It wasn't, they didn't, I mean, their parents didn't want them to speak Italian. They wanted them to speak English. Okay? Nobody in my family that was alive when I was failing Italian in high school could actually speak Italian. I tried to learn. Foreign language was never my high point. It seems today, though, that, to be quite honest, and I don't mind people being proud of their countries. God knows, not me personally, but there is no shortage of Italian Americans who will go out and wave Italian flags on Columbus Day. But we are seeing people from various countries that seem like they don't want to become American. They come here and they want to remain uh, the nationality of the country they came from. And whether they come here legally or illegally, that is a bit of a problem. Unfortunately, most of the people that seem to feel that way seem to come here illegally. And by illegally, I mean undocumented, whether they literally cross the border or they fly and overstay a visa. It doesn't matter. But back to the border wall. I'm for the wall, uh, not because I am uh, for throwing people out of this country who have been here for 20 years, not for because I'm for separating kids from their parents, which I'm not. I think the border wall is the most humane way of preventing, uh, uh, preventing human trafficking, preventing dangerous border crossings, dangerous and illegal border crossings. It is a deterrent. It is not a perfect solution. Nobody ever said it would be. But if there is a big wall, it makes it much harder to cross the border. And right now, you can literally go. I mean, I traveled the border in my younger years. Um, the highway between San Diego and Yuma, Arizona, straddles the Mexican border. You get to cities like Mexicali and Calexico that are on the border, and there is a fence, but the fence literally ends maybe 300 yards from the last paved road, and you can walk around the fence uh, without much to do. Sure, I know they've increased security since then, but there's just so much of the border that is still wide open. Um, Guys, I will be right back. Sorry about that. And if you think I had to put you on pause to use the vacuum, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what I had to do because I used it before I started streaming and I didn't expect I'd be on this long because I didn't expect I would forget to turn on the microphone. Border wall, besides being humanitarian, I don't want to see kids separated from their families. I don't want to see kids or anybody really walking through the desert dangerously, trying to get into this country illegally. The fact is, the border wall will reduce illegal immigration. Will it prevent it 100%? No. Will it cut it back a lot? Yes. It simply will. Yeah, there might still be tunnels, but there are tunnels already. And we find them and we collapse them or we block them. So there will be tunnels. There will be people who fly around, but the vast majority of people who come into this country from Mexico walk across, and not legally. Of illegal people, I hate saying illegal because it's technically, it's hard. I looked up the law on it, and while it is illegal to come into this country, not at a valid port of entry, for some reason, it's not actually a criminal offense unless you're actually stopped while you're doing it. It's weird. It's not like you can't go to jail for coming across unless you've actually been seen crossing illegally. It's weird. But you know what? I don't even know why I digress. The other important point I wanted to bring up that I brought up the first time, much more eloquently, for those who are not old enough to remember, shortly after 9/11 was the only time in my lifetime, literally the week after 9/11. 9/11 happened on a Tuesday. That Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and that weekend, our border security was turned up to 11. I mean, you could not get through the border. Hell, you couldn't even get from New York to New Jersey for 2 days. You couldn't get across the border easily at all. I mean, border security was beyond anything we're doing today. And not only did it stop a tremendous number of illegals from crossing the border, the illegal drug trade literally almost dried up. If you remember, if you're old enough to remember, there were news stories in newspapers. Newspapers were still a thing in 2001. In newspapers, on the TV news, that not so much online because literally it just wasn't as big as it was then, as it is now. But there were stories about how heroin, marijuana, and cocaine, all these drugs, street drugs, were drying up. There was panic being caused in some cities because people didn't know how they were going to get their next fix, who had been addicted to these drugs because the border security was just so tight, nothing was getting across, including illegal drugs. So I firmly believe that many of the politicians who are for open borders and are claiming to be so under the guise of immigrants' rights and open border policy for humanitarian reasons, are really more for it for much more sketchy, I don't want to say diabolical, but much more sketchy, less than honest reasons that have to do more with the drug trade and probably other types of illegal activity of things crossing the border than just because of their heart is in the right place and they want to make good for poor people and children and refugees. My heart is in the right place too. You will not find somebody more empathetic to people in terrible situations than myself. I see suffering and I suffer. It hurts. I used to cry sometimes when I was in the rehab center. And here I was stuck in a hospital bed, unable to move, and at the time in real pain, serious pain. And I was crying because there were people, whether they were physically worse off than me, some were. But even if they were able to walk, they just had nobody there. They didn't have family. They didn't have loved ones. They were literally at the mercy of a system. And I mean, there were a couple of people that used to love to come and visit me in my room, not so much because they were visiting me, but because I always had family or friends over. And they had nobody. They had nobody to pay attention to them, nobody to talk to. I mean, all except the nurses who had to come into their rooms every few times a day and wash them and whatnot. It hurt. It hurt me, and it hurts me till this day because I know that was one rehab center in one borough of New York City. And there are thousands of rehab centers in every city in this country, and there are probably tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people in the same situation. Older people often, but not always, that either through no fault of their own have nobody left or no family or no one nearby, and they're suffering in silence, and it breaks my heart. And if I win the lottery, that would be something I would try to correct, because I saw it. And if I saw the suffering in Africa, I mean, I hear about it, I see it on the news, I see it on those commercials where they want you to sponsor a child. I see that suffering, I'm sure I would be hit just as hard. When I see the animal commercials about the poor animals, if I had the money, I'd be sending money to the animals too, because they all eat away at my heart. I promise you, I feel terrible for people in terrible situations. But you cannot help everybody. You have to have your country in order first. Your country has to be strong so that it can help those most in need. Okay? If this country was being run like Mexico, or worse, like Venezuela, we wouldn't be able to go to the aid of Haiti, of those countries that were hit by the tsunami, right? We wouldn't be able to go into Turkey or countries that are hit by terrible earthquakes. We wouldn't be able to send hospital ships to these different places. We need to stay strong. And it's through our strength that we can do the most good for everyone else. And I'm sorry if that sounds like a broken record. I'm sorry if somebody's going to call me some type of trickle-down conservative nut job, because you know what? I'm not. I'm a New York moderate. Okay? Facebook even knows I'm a moderate. If you look at how they peg me, I'm a moderate. For New York City values, yeah, they would call me conservative. But for somebody in a real conservative place, they look at me and they say, he's a liberal. Okay? Because socially, I am pretty liberal. I am. Financially, on national issues, I have more conservative views. I do. But I know I'm moderate when liberals think I'm conservative, and conservatives think I'm liberal, and everyone else just thinks I'm an asshole. So, but I promise you, I'm not. I truly empathize with people, and I know in my heart of hearts that if we could get illegal immigration under control, that would be the best thing. That would be the catalyst for increasing the number of people allowed to come here legally each year. Because yeah, it is a low number. But it's a low number because we have to balance out the number of people coming legally with the number of people who come illegally. If we could cut the illegal immigration by 90%, we could increase the legal immigration by a larger percentage because we'd have control. And that would benefit more people than frankly, just allowing anybody to come in without any control. Oh, I know this is political rant. This is probably what people care the least about, and I'm sorry if this isn't Star Trek related enough for you. I'll go to the comments. Let's see what what you guys have to say. Excuse me. I'm going to cough for a second. I would mute the microphone, but I'm afraid I would forget to unmute it. Yeah, that's what you want to hear on a live stream. A good deep cough. Okay, where to start? Well, we're starting at 9:47. So, like, wow, that was a while ago. Brian's talking to Anti-Tracker. Content to go along with Laura's singing at the end credits. I kind of missed that. Okay, I already read this. Anti-Trigger said $100 super chat. Get you 20 minutes of bird will prey silence. Um, Thomas Potts asks, wait, what's the real 20 minutes of 20 bird of prey minutes? Well, I think those are anti-tracker minutes because he counted those minutes. It has to be real minutes since 20 minutes in BOP minutes, bird of prey time would be 360 minutes or 6 hours. I will have you know that I was punctual, okay? When I could get somewhere, I got somewhere 5 minutes early at least. Usually even earlier. Okay, I was German in my punctuality, although I'm more Italian than German by heritage. Kronos says a couple of choice words. Are you live? Well, I'm kinda live. I'm talking live, but no, I'm not using the camera because, again, I think I explained this while the microphone was off. I was already prepared to go to bed tonight, so I kinda never got the camera set up to use it for the stream. Although, a sneak peek of what I was planning on doing next time I actually go live, some of you might recognize this next location that I will be broadcasting from. Yes, it is a street in Portland, Oregon, where I've heard reports of a certain type of crime being committed. I don't want to spoil the details, but I will be reporting from the scene, if not tomorrow, soon, on some shenanigans going down in that location. Why is Anti-Tracker here? Well, because Anti-Tracker occasionally listens to my stream, Kronos. I don't know why, but he does. And I guess because it's damn funny when you do 20 minutes of a live stream with the microphone off. Fuck. Well, Kronos, I'm just here to show off my new GoFundMe page. I want to raise $1.2 billion. Good for you, Anti-Tracker. I would donate. Assuming it's for a good cause. The car fund, the 3D printer fund, the computer fund, all the funds. Kronos, Anti-Tracker, are you blue? Well, he's blue because he has a wrench. Yeah, he's wrenched. Kronos says, Bird of Prey 5 has better fish than you do, Anti-Tracker. Well, I have fish that need less maintenance. That's for sure. That's for sure. Thomas Potts says it's pro-Trump, so it won't be around much longer. That's true. I will probably get kicked off YouTube. Or maybe just the fact that GoFundMe will get kicked off GoFundMe. Either of those are true. Nice clear water. AT can't afford those kinds of fish. They take a lot of money and a lot of time to have a saltwater aquarium. I marvel at the people who do, because if you see saltwater aquariums done right in person, they are some of the most beautiful things in the world. They really are. Okay, something about Tron Fist. I don't see Nemo in the tank. Nemo's there, or he's usually there. There's I think they randomly spawn each time I open and close the program. Occasionally a new fish will stop by. But yeah, the Nemo fish is definitely one that's on the list. I contemplated making them all Nemo fish at one time because they are by far the favorite looking fish for me. Something about the government. He hasn't read our chats since saying he needs to. Yeah, Thomas, I don't get around to the chats that often. Anti-Tracker says, well, you guys, I need to go have a meeting at work. I can't listen in. But hey, if BOP ever bothers to look at the chat, let him know I said good night. That was at 10:08, 28 minutes ago. Have a good night, Anti-Tracker. I don't even know if anybody's still listening. If you are, thank you. Thomas Potts, nothing wrong with legal immigration minus the Packlets. Resolute Germ was in the house. Resolute Germ, good to see you. You've probably left, but if you do listen to this, it's good to see you here. Thomas Potts, I wanted to learn German. My school forced Spanish on me. When I was in junior high school, our only language choice was Spanish, and I sucked at it. So when I got to high school, having literally remembered almost no Spanish, I said, why not try Italian? Maybe it's in the genes. After a couple of years, it was quite clear it was not in the genes. I probably know more Spanish than Italian right now. And worse, I probably have half my words confused between the two. So, foreign languages are not my strong suit. Even if it's a language I wanted to... oh, there's a Nemo fish now. Even if it was a language I wanted to learn, like Klingon, it was exceedingly difficult to the point that I gave up. I had more important things to do. Wow, AT just happens to leave so quickly. He was actually here for quite a while, Kronos. But Thomas is right. He has homes to sell. Homes don't sell themselves. Some political talk. You'll forgive me if I skip through it. I'm reading your comments to myself just to save time. I'm sorry, I'm not going to read everyone out loud. Since 9/11, the government has had unchecked control. Anti-Tracker is back. And he says, hey, I can't hear anything, but tell BOP I'm working on an image file for him that he will like. Bwahaha. Okay, well, thank you, Anti-Tracker. I cannot wait. Yeah, I thought he was busy too, right, Kronos? But not busy enough that he can't come over and taunt me. That's fine. That's fine. What did the chat just skip to the end? Uh, uh, Resolute Germ says, I blame the government for those people's misfortune. That's what happened when they spend decades destroying family and church. Thomas Potts said, if other countries spent more money on their military, we could cut spending and give more to Americans. That's absolutely true, Thomas. Our military literally defends probably half, if not 3/4 of the free world, whether directly or indirectly. All these European countries that almost despairingly laugh at us for why don't we have better health care, and we're crazy for spending so much money on the military. We're spending that money on the military so you guys don't have to. You get to have fun and be half socialist and even experiment with universal income, because you don't have to worry about Russia literally coming over and just taking over your country, because you know the United States will stop them. And if we did not have our military and we were not going to come to your aid, which we will, and we are happy to do so, but just understand that that's why our military spending is so high. Yes, it helps protect us at the homeland, but we are also protecting Europe, and we are also protecting parts of Asia and South America as well. That's I don't want to say it's our burden, but that's the role to which we've been given, and we've risen to the challenge. So yeah. Kronos says, New York sucks, and I live there. Kronos, you live in New York too? I think we had this conversation, but yeah, I don't disagree. New York, not one of the better places to live, but I gotta live here anyway. Anti-Tracker is back again. I'm in a phone meeting, so I can't hear anything, but every now and then I glance at the chat. I have an idea for Bird of Prey's graphic. Thomas Pott says, Bird of Prey 2020, bring glory to America. If I run, Thomas, it would probably be 2024, but maybe I can, I don't know, become mayor or governor or something in the meantime. Anti-Tracker teases us. He has an idea for Bird of Prey's graphic, which he says he could talk about it, but he doesn't. At least not yet. Kronos, perhaps focus on Bird of Prey 5, perhaps focus on 1020. I've just been given an update from the Bird of Prey 5 news team. The official GoFundMe for the border wall has increased to a staggering $1,807,729. Since the time I started streaming, we are up $400,000. $400,000. So yes, I was quite serious when I said this was on fire. And right here, $100 anonymous, $200 from a Derek, $500 from a Mary A. Carlson, and it's just going to go higher and higher. I could sort this by highest amounts. God knows what they're going to be. $5,000 anonymous, 21 hours ago. 2020. I wonder if there's a message there. From Taryn McKinney, 9 hours ago. $2,000, 11 hours ago. Michael Grimm. 1,776 from Anonymous, 3 hours ago. We know what that is. 1,501 from Craig Cody. I don't know what that refers to, but sure. $1,000, 1,001 from Tony Collins. I assume Tony was smart enough to know that there were going to be several other $1,000 donations. So by adding an extra $1, he gets to be on top. And here are multiple $1,000 donations from real people with real names. I'm not even going to go to see more. But this is, if this isn't the biggest news of the day tomorrow, it should be. It should be. The only thing I can compare this to in history is when Americans came together to pay for the Statue of Liberty base on Liberty Island, where the famous newspaper guy, excuse me, guys, where the newspaper guy was publishing everybody's name in the newspaper if they donated even a cent. Not since bringing the Statue of Liberty to New York Harbor have Americans put so much money up front for something so big and so important to them. This is game-changing. Thomas Potts retracted a message. Al Capone is dead. Yes, Cronus, I am sorry to say Al Capone did pass away. I believe, actually, of syphilis. In fact, yes, it was syphilis that he caught from a prostitute in Brooklyn. How do they know those details? I have no idea. But that is what the History Channel told me, so that's what I will repeat. Al Capone dead of syphilis at some middle-aged age. Oh, sorry guys, the air is dry in New York tonight because it is so cold. And the humidifier is on working overtime here. Airwolf came by. Wow, this has been a popular stream. Too bad I wasn't keeping up with the chats. Commander Ironwolf, what did you miss? Commander Ironwolf, you missed me being a complete and total idiot, doing 20 minutes of a stream that should have only been 25 minutes long with the microphone off. Anti-tracker coming here, probably laughing his ass off again at my expense, and me trying to redo what a beautiful job I did in 20 minutes, and it taking now twice as long. BOP5 said tracker. It's late. It's late, Kronos. It's late. I'm usually long asleep at 10:49. In fact, In fact, Doomcock should be coming live soon. If I'm not mistaken, he's coming up on 11 because Doomcock was actually in Esquire. I would say magazine, but it was their website. But he was mentioned, and the little B-ass reporter who did the story on him wouldn't even link to his video, although he used a screenshot from it. Wouldn't even link to Doomcock's video because he didn't want anybody to actually watch Doomcock's video, because all the lies he told about Doomcock's video. Had anybody actually watched the video, they would have seen 100% right that nothing in Doomcock's video was either racist or misogynistic. But he literally calls it both, and provides no link to the video. What a bastard. God damn them. Yes, anti-tracker, I'm checking Discord. Oh, look, some people, Kronos came to Discord too. I will respond to you, Kronos, but the answer to your second question is no, I really don't. Anti-tracker. Okay, so Anti-Tracker has provided me with a green screened head jar, and a place. I will show you guys. I will show you guys the picture of it, because it's easier that way than me explaining it. Yeah, so he's, this green screen. I could make the green a background like the fish tank, and in this dark area I could center the camera so that my actual head was visible in the tank. So it'd be my real head talking in the tank. And this is more or less the original vision I had when I asked Acid Designs to make the head tank. I was going to use green screens to make this effect, and I appreciate Anti-Tracker putting the time in to make this, but unfortunately I did some testing with this, and it did not work out well. Maybe I'll try it again, but thank you. But unfortunately, it's just not going to work out too well. Now at $1,839,000, almost $35,000 in 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Wow. Okay, back to the comments. Okay, so yes, I checked Discord. Thank you, Anti-Tracker. I will say thank you in the text for the picture, Anti-Tracker, because obviously he doesn't hear me despite me saying it. You won't hear about it on NBC, Fox, or any of them mainstream media bastards. It's probably true. Kronos, Commander Ironwolf says, Kronos, Just ask the Chinese about how well their border wall worked. I really don't think it kept Genghis out of China. Well, it's still standing. And did they have the wall when Genghis Khan came into China? I'm not 100% sure. But regardless. Commander Iron Wolf, no, it ended up working out for China. Genghis Khan ended up creating a great empire, but the wall was still useless. Kronos, Commander Iron Wolf, so you don't like walls. Kronos says, by the way, I ain't unsubbing anyone here. Why, did somebody threaten to unsub? If somebody unsubbed because of my support for the wall, that is unfortunate. I hope they heard my passion plea about the reasons why I support the wall, and that it is for the good of the good of those most at need of help. It is not because I am fearing the text takeover of the country by rampaging Mexican nationals. It is because I want to see increased legal immigration, and I want to see the country be able to provide help and support to the poor. And I think we need to do more to help countries in South America and Latin America. But I think we need to do that in their own countries. I don't think we can realistically bring, nor should we want to bring, the population of South and Central America into the United States. We would do more good for them to help them get their own countries up to speed than to just bring everyone here. So it's, I'm not against helping, I have my own ways that we should be doing. Anti-Trigger says Bird will Pray 5. It's a PNG image. Save it. You can put your webcam behind it to be on the tip jar. Yes. Thank you, Anti-Tracker. I get the logic of it. Unfortunately, as I said, I don't think that's going to work out for my needs. I actually have my own version of that I tried and tried and tried with green screens, and it just doesn't look right. Chrono says, lol, yeah, arguments are unsubworthy. Literally, like, did anybody say they were unsubbing? Because I didn't notice it, if they were. I'm not particularly offended or threatened, because, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I know politics gets people upset, but I'm just really kind of curious if anybody said they were unsubbing, because I'd love to talk to them later on Discord and see if we can't come to some common ground. I'm off work in like 3 minutes, so I can listen then. Oh. You gonna make me stay on, Anti-Tracker? I don't even have $1 I can get for taking in $1 to stay on, like Anti-Tracker does, with his unnecessarily long credits. Lol, does that mean that you're actually listening, or are you just reading something? Josh Street. Oh, Josh. I don't know if I saw you before, but hello, Josh. I'm tired of waking up to Border Patrol in my backyard with a car or truck just inches from my apartment. 6 times this year alone. Where do you live, Josh, that's happening? I assume it's close to the border. Um, at least I would think so. I mean, although I do know Border Patrol operates, well within the U.S. I mean, that checkpoint between San Diego and Los Angeles, like, what the hell is the point? You're already 60 minutes in the United States when you hit a checkpoint. Anti-Tracker can hear again. It is a miracle. He got his hearing back. Good for you, Anti-Tracker. There's hope for us all. Anti-Tracker says, wait a minute. If you were up this late, why are you never joining my late streams? Anti-Tracker, I am never up this late. I have gone past all sense of reason. My body is shutting down. I do not know why I'm up. This is going to be a bad night and a worse day tomorrow. I should have been asleep. I should have gone to sleep an hour ago. I planned to come on at 9:20, do 10 to 20 minutes of a live stream and cut it off and maybe be asleep by 10 p.m. And here I am, 11 p.m. with 10 people in the chat now. Arguably my biggest live stream yet. And I don't even have the camera set up. And I can't even put the camera on because, quite frankly, I already took my shirt off. And if you thought Lore Reloaded was hairy, you ain't seen nothing. And you're not going to, because I don't take my shirt off in public. I'm that hairy. So yeah, don't worry, you're not gonna see it. But I don't know if you saw it before, Anti-Tracker. I will be reporting from this street in Portland where we've gotten reports of some funny business going on. Some women of the night, perhaps. It's funny because some people are saying that they're hookers and other people are reporting Bigfoot sightings. So I'm going to get there on the ground to investigate what's really happening on that unnamed street in Portland. Wait until you get super chats. I honestly not sure I will ever get super chats because 1,000 is so far removed from, I think, the 130 or so I have right now. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm not doing this for the money, obviously. Money's nice, don't get me wrong. But I'm doing this more for the attention and just to get my voice out there because, I'm right about so many things and I am helping the human race by simply broadcasting my opinions over the internet so other people can bask in the intellectualism that perhaps only King Waspinator can rival. So yeah, that is why I do YouTube. Thomas Potts says China was invaded by a well-organized military, not civilians. Commander Ironwolf says, what do you mean half my family immigrated here legally in the past couple generations? I'm mostly Italian. Commander Ironwolf, join the club, the Mostly Italian Club. I'm not sure who else is, but I am. Isn't it fact? I share a last name, and some of you might have picked up on it yesterday when I did the video about my dad, because I had his full name on the web page. But my last name is the same last name as the famous old WWF wrestler who went by the nickname the $1 Million Man. So my entire childhood, from, I don't know, 5 to 8 years old, 8 years old into my upper teens, when people would hear my last name, the first question they would ask, literally, any relation to the $1 Million Man? And I would have to say no. Technically, he spells it a little different, one character different, an E instead of an I, but we pronounce it exactly the same. Thomas Potts says, Josh Street first says, are Bigfoot hooker sightings? Are they Bigfoot hooker sightings? Well, that's the problem, Josh Street. Some people are saying that they saw Bigfoot. Other people are saying that they saw hookers on the same street at the same time. I think only I can get to the bottom of it, and we will be doing a live report to try to get to the bottom of it. Thomas Pott is warning Anti-Tracker that tomorrow is his payday. I assume that means that he will be making it rain with the super chats. Although tomorrow is Thursday, so it will be a nighttime Anti-Tracker live stream. So I guess Anti-Tracker better get some sleep tonight, because he's not going to get it tomorrow. Anti-Tracker says, well, Mrs. Anti-Tracker is telling me to come downstairs, so I'm out of here. Have a good night, all. Have a good night, Anti-Tracker. Tell Mrs. Anti-Tracker we miss her and send her the best, our best. Commander Ironwolf, Kronos says, at Commander Ironwolf, I'm not going to unsub. Why would you be unsubbing, Kronos? I don't get it. Klingons don't unsub, right? When Klingons are upset, they fight. Unsubbing is something a Ferengi would do. Thomas Potts, I'm German, so watch out, I might invade you all. Well, part German. Commander Ironwolf says, at Kronos, well, thank you, glad we have a civil discussion about it, even though you're a xenophobe, lol, just kidding. Thomas Potts says, mother's side from the 1800s is German. Ironwolf, F Germans killed the Roman Empire. You know what, Commander Ironwolf? I think Romans killed the Roman Empire. Their lead-lined pipes didn't help, and their inability to choose an effective leader for so long also doomed the empire. And that is something we should remember. And lest not history repeat itself. The Roman Empire survived far longer than the United States is on track to at this point. We need to get our act together if we are going to surpass the length Rome existed. Kronos is out of here. Take care, everyone. Qapla. Qapla to you, Kronos. Thomas Potts, corruption killed the Roman Empire. That's another way of putting it. I agree. Rome could have stood, but it got lazy, it got greedy, and its use of lead pipes certainly did not help anything. Probably literally just generations and generations of people with lead poisoning led to the mess they ended up in. Rome shall rise again. I don't know about that, but we'll see. Commander Ironwolf, corruption was a disease in the Roman Empire, and the Germanic barbarians was the knife to kill the dying old man. Well, if the old man was already dying, I guess they just put out of his misery. That's one way to look at it. Kronos says, what's wrong with lead? Absolutely nothing, Kronos. If you have lead pipes, just go on about your business. You seem smart enough, so maybe there's nothing wrong with them. But I would avoid giving it to any children you might have or have visiting you. Et tu, Commander Ironwolf. I get the reference, Kronos. Et tu. We're not beating Rome's length of time. No, we're not. If only Rome would have kept those Germans out. Okay, guys. Oh, look, this video's got an unlike. Wow, 6 likes and 1 unlike. Anybody want to fess up to being the dislike? Because I'm just curious. I assume it's about the politics. But I would love to hear your reasons for disliking it. I promise I'm not going to think less of you. I would dislike a video that was about something that was not something I agreed with as well. But I'm genuinely curious if anybody would fess up to doing the dislike here. I hit dislike on a lot of videos, not Anti-Tracker or Lore Reloaded or Doomcock or any of the Nerd Channel videos, say, because they really don't do anything I dislike. Some I don't like because I just don't like, but there are plenty of political and news and social channels that I actively hit dislike on. Especially Steve Shives, who's too afraid to actually show his dislike number, so you can't even see how many people dislike his video because he's afraid. Like the bug, like the brain bug in Starship Troopers. It's afraid. Neil Patrick Harris's best performance. Wait, what? Captain Redneck is on the bridge. I'm sorry, Captain. I hope that's not too creepy. What did you miss? Captain, what didn't you miss? My most epic live stream yet. It is so successful because I'm not actually on camera. I am not scaring away the guests. So I guess that's why we've got so many people tonight. I started off doing a 20-minute live stream about this amazing GoFundMe for the border wall, for a GoFundMe made for the border wall, and I'm about to refresh it. $1,908,000. $1,908,435,000. And since I started this live stream, it is up over $400,000. At the beginning of this live stream, which nobody could hear, because for the first 20 minutes I mistakenly was broadcasting with the microphone shut off. But for 20 minutes of silence, I assure you, it was the most entertaining and insightful commentary you will hear on this subject. Once I realized the microphone was off, unfortunately, it was never as good again the second time. But I predicted we would hit $2 million by midnight Eastern. It is now 11:15 p.m. Eastern Time, and we are on track to hit $2 million by midnight Eastern. And this is just growing and growing and growing. Donations range anywhere from $5 to hundreds to thousands of dollars. The highest donation so far was a $5,000 donation. There are countless $1,000 donations, $100, $200, even $500 donations continue to roll in every minute. I mean, they're getting donations, multiple donations a minute. Many are $20 to $100. But even the $5, $10, $20 ones, they all make a difference. It is the American people standing up and saying the line must be drawn here and no further. Okay? This is that. This is their Captain Picard in the Enterprise E moment, saying that the Borg must be stopped here and no further. The American people are saying the same thing, and Lily is not going to talk them down. I also used the first 20 minutes and then again another 20 minutes to go through this whole thing, explain who the guy was, and give my assurances that this is a legit campaign. It has been picked up by multiple news organizations. The campaign, the person who started this campaign is a triple amputee of the Air Force. He is a retired Air Force veteran. He lost both legs and one hand in the Air Force fighting in Iraq in, I believe, 2004. He has been on the news. He has the legal people in place. He has the contacts with the Trump administration in place. This is legit. This money will only be going to the border wall. It will not go to any other program. The government has ways of taking these private donations and putting them to special, exactly what they're funded for. So there is nothing to worry about there. I donated my $10. It was all I could give. But yeah, so that's what it was about, Captain Redneck. Whether or not you agree with the wall, it's up to you. But man, this is newsworthy. And I also gave an impassioned plea as to all the things that make me feel terrible, and and that we just need we need to keep the country strong so that the country can keep helping and leading the world. Resolute Germ says, dislike Lore's video. It really gets under his skin. You know, I don't think it does. I think Lore is pretty convinced that likes and dislikes just count as interactions, and either one helps the algorithm. And I think there is logic to that. If you look up the system, the YouTube like system is a pulled from the old Google Hangouts code. There was no code for dislikes, and whether you press like or dislike, it just gets counted as an interaction. And I believe the total number of video interactions increases its placement in the algorithm of how likely it is to be recommended to other people. So unless you have a ton of negative dislikes, I really don't think disliking a video really hurts it at all. I'm not convinced that it hurts. What hurts it the most would probably be not liking it, not commenting on it, and not finishing it. That's what really hurts. If you comment on it or dislike it, you've probably helped it more than you know. No, I'm sorry, guys. I need to take a pill. I just got to swallow. I'll be right back. Glub, 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 glub. If you heard that, that was water coming from my Poland Spring bottle. Guys, I am tired as anything. I so appreciate you guys coming here tonight. I was not expecting to be doing a live stream at all tonight. I certainly wasn't expecting to be doing one this late. I am usually in bed by 9 p.m. I'm so happy to see a lot of you guys who I never get to see on my stream because I usually stream during the day. Thank you all so much for coming. You know, if you like what I said here, you might consider going back and listening to some of my old videos. Even if they were live streams, they're not like Anti-Tracker's live streams where they're important to watch live. Most of what I say is just enough to be another video. I just happened to do it live. But yeah. Thomas Potts wants a giant Lego wall. I would love a giant Lego wall, but I would use the bricks for something else. Captain Redneck says, Bird of Prey, you are a legend amongst men. Love you, bro. Thank you, Captain Redneck. That means a lot. That means a lot. Oh my God. That means a lot. Oh, it's one of those days, Captain Redneck. One of those days. It's vacuum time. No, Kronos. It was actually time to take one of the pills I have to take before bed. So are you getting red pilled? Oh, I've been red pilled a long time, Commander Iron Wolf. I was red pilled. I hate to break this story, but I'm going to say it because I was red pilled. I don't know if it was junior high school or high school. It was either like the last year of junior high. I think it was the last year of junior high. Yeah, must have been, because we had a substitute teacher for a social studies class. And he was an older gentleman. I believe he was a World War II veteran at the time. He was one of the oldest people I had seen as a substitute teacher. We never saw him again. But he was in the class, and, as most substitute teachers do, he didn't bother trying to figure out what our lesson was or whatever. He just wanted to teach something. So we were talking, and again, this was New York City in the late 80s, early 90s, before Mayor Giuliani really cleaned up the city. Crime was high. It was like everybody figured New York's future was like the movie Escape from New York. And and we were a so-called gifted class. So we were supposedly the brightest of the brightest at that school. And he talked to us, and he wanted to get what were our opinions on, how would we solve the problems of the city. And, we were all talking, and the class came to a unanimous consensus after a little bit of time that we would solve crime by placing soldiers on every street corner. Because we figured, we were young enough to believe in the ideals that soldiers were all good people, right? You don't realize that when you're that young that soldiers and policemen and people like that are fallible. So to us, soldiers were perfect beings for the most part. So clearly, if a soldier with a rifle stood on every corner of New York City, crime would go away, because presumably the bad guys would be afraid to do anything, and the soldier would take care of them if they did, magically, without any type of civilian harm coming. Anyway, when we told him this, and we were so sure of it as a class, the look on his face was like he just saw the worst thing in the world. He was scared. I could only imagine now thinking, here's a man who literally was fighting Nazis, and now he's a substitute teacher, and the class with the smartest kids in the school are telling him their plan to save the city is to have soldiers on every street corner. And that look in his face, that scared him so. It resonated with me, and it broke through to me. And that's when I really started thinking. Forgive the noises going on in the background, guys. We'll be over in a second. But that's when I really started thinking, A, we're not as smart as we think we are. B, teachers aren't always right. I mean, our regular teachers, not substitute teachers. And C, I started to realize no one is infallible. There's no perfect soldier. There's no perfect policeman. There's no perfect teacher. And and the reality is you can't solve crime by putting soldiers on every street corner. And just to see a man who had fought for this country be so taken aback, it hit me, and it was an epiphany, and it was one of the defining moments of my I'm not gonna say of my life, but of my intellectual / political development, say. Chronos says, you rock, thanks for the stream. Josh Street says, BOP, now I know who you and Anti-Tracker remind me of. Saltier and Waldorf from the Muppet Show. Are those the old guys? I'm not super familiar with the Muppets. I used to watch them as a kid, but I think those are the old puppets. If that's true, I don't mind that at all. They were cool. I liked them. Good night, BOP, and take care. Good night, Resolute. Pain hurts. Substitute teachers were the worst. Wow, even back then, teachers were full of it. Yeah, teachers were always full of it, guys. Breaking news, 11:33 p.m. Eastern. The Border Wall Fund is up to $1,959,594. $1,000. 594,000 of 500. $1,959,594, and I am having trouble even reading because it is that late. There's still 8 people watching. That is like more people than I get when I stream during the day. I love you guys all. Thank you so much for sticking around so late. Let's check the website one last time, even though I just got that update. I'm sure it's probably the same. No, $1,956,030. What? Did it go down? What number you have over there?
1,959,590.
Okay, breaking news. 5 minutes ago, they listed it, and it's still up on my mother's computer at 1,959,594. On my computer, it's lagging behind a bit at 1,956,030. Mom, if you hold down the shift key and hit refresh in the browser,
Yeah.
what do you get?
1,959,594.
Okay, so she refreshed, shift and refreshed,
Yeah.
and here it is. Now I got it. 1,959,594. 25 minutes to go. At this rate, they will certainly hit 2 million either at midnight or during that first hour of the new day. It very well might be by midnight. Unfortunately, guys, I am not going to I'm not going to be awake to know for sure. I will check first thing in the morning. By all rights, this should be on the news in the morning, but we'll see. Chronos says, "Say hello to your mother for me, please." Mom, Chronos says hello.
Hello, Chronos.
I don't know if you heard her, but she said hello. Thomas Potts says, keep Bird of Prey awake. Yes.
Who's going to keep me awake?
I guess I'll keep you awake, because you can't go to sleep until I do. Well, you could, but then I just have to wake you up. Josh Street, how many more left in your 24-hour stream? You notice when Anti-Tracker and Lori Loaded say they'll do 24-hour streams, and Anti-Tracker says he will do one day. I do not. I don't ever anticipate doing a 24-hour live stream. I would happily join in somebody else's for an hour or two or more, but no, my body shuts down like it's shutting down now. And you heard my mother, so good. The microphone picks up from across the room. So that is my mom. You can say hi to her. Without her, I would be one of those people wasting away in a rehab, a nursing home, probably just, not doing well. Yes, let's not end the night on a bad note.
1,972,500.
$1,972,500. So the fund keeps growing. Spread the news. If you are at all interested, I will put the link in the chat. Again, if you're at all interested, share that link on your Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it in Discord, share it on Gab, on Minds, on Instagram, anywhere you can. your community Facebook groups. Just get the message out there. Get it out there, please. And if you disagree with it, then I respect you for listening, because, listen, I understand. I have good friends who are dead set against the wall. But to be honest, I think it's more that we disagree with some of our basis, what we believe to be reality, and that if we could all agree on the initial starting conditions, we'd all come to agreement on the wall. But you know what? We're not always going to agree on everything. At some point, you just got to accept people believe what they believe, and I accept that. But, don't make it personal. Don't ever lose a friend over politics. Don't ever stop talking to family over politics. That is nuts. Anybody who would ever suggest you ostracize your friends or your family over something political is the toxic person. They're the ones you need to stop listening to. Politics are politics, but family is family, and friends are friends, and they trump, no pun intended, they trump politics. There's a reason why, if you're a Freemason, there's no politics discussed in the lodge hall. I am not, but it's a common saying. It's well known, because you just can't discuss politics and have a cohesive organization with hundreds or thousands of people, because there's bound to be people who think different, and that is okay. That is, not only is it okay, it is welcomed. With that, everybody, I am going to be signing off. Kronos, what are friends? Friends are the people that you see that you don't have a biological or legal relationship to, but they still come around anyway. Captain Resnick. Thomas Potts says, I don't talk to my godfather after he wanted all Trump supporters shot. Thomas, while I understand that reasoning, I would suggest you be the bigger man and start a dialogue with your godfather again. I've had similar situations with family members, but like I said, if it means you will back down, no matter how right you think you are, and this goes for me too, no matter how right I believe I am, if it means backing down to save a family or friendship, a family relationship or a close friendship, I will back down, because there is no politician worth it. It's sad and it's upsetting that anybody would put you in a position to make that choice, but I back down in hopes that in the future knowing me and seeing by example, they will eventually come around and realize there's a better way. It's sad. I know where you're coming from. I do, but no, don't lose a friendship or a family relationship or a godfather relationship. Um, Nobody is worth it. No politician is worth it. Um, and the only way you're going to change their minds is if you still have that dialogue open. So if it means backing down, if it means uh, being the bigger person and ignoring them or letting it go, turning the other cheek, whatever you want to call it, you do it. You do it. It's for the best. Kronos says he's not a huge fan of his godfather either. Thomas Potts says, Captain Redneck says, BOP is a wise man. Thank you, Captain Redneck. Thank you again. Thomas Potts says, so you're a Freemason, a mafia Freemason Klingon. Well, one of those things doesn't exist. The other is a secret, and the third is a warrior race from the planet Kronos. So you take of that what you will. Kronos, take care. Good night. Josh Street, good night. Thomas, have a good night. Bird of Prey. Maybe I'll beat you in the next AT day stream. At this point, you very well might. Oh, God. Good night, everybody. I don't know. We picked up another watcher, 9 people. I gotta get sleep, people. Have a good night. I gotta check one more time. $1,984,502, less than $16,000, $15,448 short of $2 million with 13 minutes to go. It is literally right on track to hit 2 million between midnight and 12:10 a.m. So yeah, I called it. Say goodnight, fishies. Come on out of your fish cave, you little. Right over there is this worm thing in the fish cave. I don't know if he'll come out. Thomas Potts, you have a good night. Yes, I read that already. Okay, everybody. Qapla all. This is it. I'm really signing off this time. 11:48 p.m. God help me. Have a good night. Have a good night. And why are the ending credits not working? Do I have to open that? There we go.